Welcome to the tutorial practice for Main Ideas 2.1. So today, this is what your assignment will look like for this week, going over main ideas. Now again, main ideas and supporting details go hand in hand. In this practice tutorial review, we're going to focus mainly on the main ideas. We will mention supporting details, but again, main ideas is our focus. So again, main ideas is the reason you are reading the paragraph or article. It's what the whole idea, what the article or paragraph is about. Again, they will you look for clues, especially with the topic or subject, which are mentioned in a couple of words usually. Main idea can, and as we go along in this book, the main idea can be stated and usually can be stated in the work, whether it's a paragraph or in the entire piece of work if it's multiple paragraphs. So you will find them there. The main idea can also be put together through multiple sentences, pieced together like a puzzle. And we'll get into that in chapter 4 for implied main ideas. But in this case, we're going to look for a sentence that clearly states the main idea. And so you will also see in other works as well, they'll ask you for the topic sentence. Topic sentence is just another way of saying main idea. It's the same thing. Now, when they ask you about topic, topic is usually just one, 2, or even 3 words briefly that mention the subject of what you're reading about. And it does have something to do with the main idea, with the main idea sentence, topic sentence. Usually that your topic will involve that, but your topic sentence or main idea sentence is just one complete sentence. And so that's what we're going to be working with today. So main idea. So here you're going to see, and you're going to see this in your assignment as well. This is what your homework assignment will look like. And you'll notice, okay, this is question 1. They're going to give you a paragraph, and then you have to decide which sentence is the main idea. And so we go here and we say, and again, the main idea, one of the misnomers involving main ideas or even topic sentences is that the first sentence is always the main idea. That is not always the case. As you saw in the tutorial, or you read in the tutorial of the chapter 2 notes, or if you read the notes and even reading chapter 2 textbook, the main idea, the topic sentence, can be anywhere. It can be at the beginning, it can be at the middle, it can even be at the end. Again, when we work with this assignment here, this practice assignment, you're going to see that come up. And so I will make sure to go over that and point those out to you. All right. So question 1. Some written and archaeological evidence indicates that the women warriors called Amazons actually existed. In his writings, the Roman historian Herodotus referred to fierce women warriors who swept down from the northeast and attacked Mediterranean settlements. In 1997, on the border of Russia and Kazakhstan, archaeologists discovered 50 burial mounds containing the skeletons of women who were buried with swords, arrowheads, and other weapons. One skeleton showed a deadly weapon-inflicted wound. Several skeletons were bow-legged, suggesting a life on horseback. So, if we look at these 5 sentences, now let's just look for the topic. Okay, not even looking. Don't look for the main idea. Just look for the topic. What is our subject? What is our topic? If we could sum it up in 1 or 2 words, and it would be again what kept popping up here are women. So we're talking about women warriors, and again, they mention it in sentence 1 and then even in sentence 2. So we know the subject, the topic is women warriors. So what are they saying about the women warriors? Well, if we look at, and again, you're going to look at the supporting details here. And the supporting details are going to, again, as we said in chapter 3 notes, the supporting details support the main idea. So the main idea, it's the statement, and then it's supported, it's given evidence through the supporting details. So we know our topic is about the women warriors, and what's being said about these women warriors. Well, if we go here, we have here again, we're talking about the skeletons of the women. So they're talking about these women warriors, and they found these skeletons of the women, and they again mentioned the skeleton, the one skeleton, and then several skeletons were bow-legged. So we know it's about these women warriors, and what are they saying about them? So if we go through each sentence, we're going to look here, and which one is going to apply to all of this? Which one, if someone asks you, what is this paragraph about? You're going to go to sentence 1 here. Some written and archaeological evidence indicates that the women warriors called Amazons actually existed. And we know this to be true because look, some written, well, in sentence 2, they talk about the writings. And then archaeological evidence, well, they found evidence in sentence 3, 4, and even 5. So again, sentence 1 covers and applies to the supporting details for sentences 2 through 5 here. All right, and so this again is just how you look at what can apply to all. That is going to be the main idea. So let's go to the next one. Question 2, sorry. So it says here, today long prison sentences are common in America. However, in the early United States, punishments for crimes usually were swift and often violent. The most serious crimes were punished by hanging. Some states gave the death penalty for a dozen or more offenses, including rape and homosexuality. Other felonies were punished with flogging or mutilation. As late as 1805 in Massachusetts, the counterfeiters, arsonists, wife-beaters, and thieves were whipped, had their ears cropped, or had their cheeks branded with a hot iron. Petty offenses such as being drunk or disturbing the peace were punished with a fine or public dunking. So again, what you want to do when reading, look for a topic, look for the subject. What is the subject or topic? If we could do it in a few words, and really what kept coming up, what kept getting repeated are crimes. So we're talking about some crimes. All right. So as you're looking through, again, what are they saying about the crimes? Well, let's look at some of the sentences. So they're saying most serious crimes were punished by hanging. Oh, some states gave the death penalty. So again, we're talking about the crimes and the consequences. So other felonies. So again, felonies are again crimes. And then also they talk about the consequences as well. So looking here, it's about the crimes. And what are they saying here? Well, if we look at, again, some of you may say sentence 1. Well, today long prison sentences are common in America. So this is not the main idea. And the reason for this is because they're not just talking about in America. They're not just talking about long prison sentences are common in America. And again, the key word is today. Because look, at sentence 6 here, it says as late as 1805. So they make a mention of something happening in the past, of how it was in the past. So it can't be the main idea because, again, main idea has to apply to everything. All right. And so this is what we call an introductory sentence. It's introducing you, it's laying the groundwork, introducing the reader, you, to the subject, to give you a hint at what is going to come up in this. So it's giving you an introductory to the topic, to the subject. So the main idea here, we know it's talking about crimes, and they do mention about punishment. So what's a sentence that contains information about both crime and punishment? That would be sentence 2. However, in the early United States, punishments for crimes usually were swift and often violent. And so they give you examples here, the supporting details in sentences 3 through 7. So sentence 2 is our answer for the main idea. let's go to sentence 3 now. Question 3, I'm so sorry. So it says here, in 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted, killing nearly 100 people and leveling thousands of acres of timber. By contrast, most Hawaiian volcanoes never erupt. Instead, they simply emit flowing lava. Whether a volcano erupts or simply emits lava depends on the composition of its molten rock, which comes to the surface as lava. Volcanoes like Mount St. Helens have quick cooling lava. As a result, the lava forms a dome that plugs the volcano's hole. Eventually, the pressure becomes so intense that a tremendous explosion blows off the lava dome and spews out a massive cloud of ash. Instead of hardening soon after it reaches air, the lava of most Hawaiian volcanoes flows down the cones' sides until it encounters an obstacle or slowly cools into solid. Because the lava never plugs the volcano never erupts. So what is our topic? What is the subject? And again, it was flagrant throughout the entire paragraph, and it was about volcanoes. And we know, again, they mentioned about volcanoes and eruption. So you'll see here in the beginning, especially in the beginning, said this, they mentioned about Mount St. Helens. But again, we know it's about the volcanoes and eruption. But again, the paragraph, and this is what you look at for the paragraph or article, it did not just talk about Mount St. Helens. So sentence 1 cannot be your main idea because, again, it doesn't mention about just Mount St. Helens. If you look at let's just jump down to 4 here. Volcanoes like Mount St. Helens have quick cooling lava. So as a result, the lava forms. So it's giving us information about volcanoes. So if we read throughout this whole, this paragraph, as we read it, it's mentioning about Hawaiian volcanoes, all right, and all the different types of volcanoes and how the eruptions and the flow of it and the cooling effect. So one sentence is going to mention about eruptions and volcanoes. Well, the correct answer, well, if we look at sentence 2 here, so sentence 1 is just giving you some information about Mount St. Helens. So that would be an introductory. Well, if we look at sentence 2, most Hawaiian volcanoes never erupt. Well, they simply emit flowing lava. Well, again, we're not just talking about Hawaiian volcanoes. All right, because again, Mount St. Helens is in Washington. We're talking about volcanoes, period. So it does not matter where their location. We're just talking about the various types of volcanoes and their eruption and the lava flow. So our main idea that applies, if you look at even sentences 4 through 8, it would be in support of sentence 3. Whether a volcano erupts or simply emits lava depends on the composition of its molten rock, which comes to the surface as lava. And then they give you information about that. Sentence 1 and 2 are the introductory statements. They're giving you an introduction to what the subject, the topic is going to be. We know it's going to be about volcanoes and eruption and lava flow. So sentence 3. All right. Now, I want to jump down here to question 6. I'm only going to do 2 more. Don't want to make this video too long. So we have 9 sentences. So 9 sentences here. So it says, before any Civil War battle, 100 men would be gathered into a company. 10 companies then would be gathered into a regiment. 2 or 3 regiments, 2,000 or 3,000 men, would be gathered into a brigade and sent off to battle. Under a brigadier general's command, the soldiers would form double lines and advance 1,000 yards. Then junior officers would lead the army's charge through gunpowder smoke, bullets, and cannon fire. Men who panicked and broke from their ranks were shot by their officers. When the advancing soldiers neared the opposing forces, they would scramble through earth and timber fortifications. Finally, soldiers who had made it that far would engage in hand-to-hand combat until one side retreated or everyone on one side was wounded or killed. In Civil War times, battles followed a fairly standard format. So, our topic here, obviously, or subject, is about the Civil War. So if you look at the layout of this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, we'll talk about it much more detailed in supporting details. This seems to go in a listing order. All right, supporting details, cause and effect even. So you have words like before any civil war. So before something this happens, and then it says 10 companies then. So cause and effect then. So before, and then gives you what they have to do. Then, and then would be gathered and sent off to battle, would form. So under a brigadier's general's command. So it's giving all these, it's a listing. The details here, you can tell they're details. Now there's one sentence that stands out as you're reading and you're like, well, this kind of changed the tone, or it kind of changed the layout. We know it's about Civil War, but what is it saying about the Civil War? And there's one sentence that will stand out that kind of, again, makes you kind of the ebony and flow of everything. And you look here, and it's sentence 9. In Civil War time, battles followed a fairly standard format. So again, as I said earlier, that the main idea can be at the beginning, the middle, or even the end. And so sentence 9 is our main idea. And we even know this because the fact that in Civil War times, battles followed a fairly standard format. And so if we move sentence 9 to sentence 1, well, all the rest of the sentences explain this standard format. So again, just as you're reading, pay careful attention. What is the topic? What is the subject? What applies to the entire piece of work or the paragraph as you are reading? And sometimes we have a tendency to grow impatient, or it seems tedious, or we're tired. But the most important thing is take your time. There is a difference between reading and comprehending, and just reading for the sake of reading because you don't retain any of it. So that technically would not be reading. So the last one for this video, we're going to jump down here to question 8. All right. So question 8 says, the largest land animals, elephants, are too heavy to jump, even though they have 4 knees. Something unique in the animal kingdom. But they are excellent swimmers. An elephant's powerful trunk contains over 50,000 muscles and can sense water 3 miles away. Elephants are able to hear low-frequency sounds that carry miles over land, and sounds that we can't hear without technology. They need only a few hours of sleep per day. Elephants have fascinating physical characteristics. So again, let's look at the topic or subject. And really what it's talking about is elephants. So what are they saying about the elephants? Well, again, similar to question 6, the previous question, again, you're looking here. And with that, as you're looking through the topic, the subject, again, the way the paragraph is laid out, it follows a listing, a list again. So again, they talk about that the elephants are too heavy to jump, even though they have 4 knees. Okay, the powerful trunk contains over. So they're giving you a list of information. So there's one sentence that kind of, when you get to it, you're just like, wow, okay, that doesn't list any characteristics or doesn't list anything. So, and that would be, again, the last sentence of the paragraph. Question 6 would be your main idea. Because again, as you're going through, they're listing off these, and that is what you will find. Sometimes there'll be a list or a cause and effect or a chronological order. And so again, you have to ask yourself, well, I know the topic or the subject is going to be this, in this case, elephants. So what are they saying about elephants? What sentence can apply to the entire piece of work? And sentence 6 applies to the entire piece of work. Elephants have fascinating physical characteristics. And what are they? Well, starting in sentence 1 all the way to sentence 5, they explain to you those characteristics. All right. So that brings us to the end, to the practice tutorial review for main ideas 2.1. I hope you found this helpful, and make sure to click on the practice tutorial for 3.1 supporting details. Thank you.